And yes, awesome. Hey,
Okay.
this is Hillary Baggett with Community Bloom and Hill Talks podcast. And I'm here today to cast the vision for you on what exactly is happening with this women's midlife network. And yes, I was very intentional about trying to share this with you. And the feedback we got was so enormous yesterday that I just had to come on again and give more people the chance to either ask questions, post it live, and just share the energy and the excitement. And I want to share my vision with you, and I'm going to give you the really short version in the first probably 3 to 5 minutes because honestly, who has time and who has the energy and attention to do it? So, I'm Hillary Baggett. I'm coming to you today from Colorado Springs. And I was in a really dark place about a year and a half ago. And I truly thought that I was either going to walk out on my husband and my children to just run away or step off the cliff here. It's called Pulpit Rock in Colorado. And luckily, that did not happen. And I got the right medical care, the right therapy, the right surgery, the right therapist to do all the right things. And after that, I thought, I don't want another woman that's probably over 40 to go through this and feel alone. Because health, relationships, and all the things. But what I know that's helpful is reaching out to women. And so I started that at the beginning of 2022 of kind of trying to reach one woman at a time. And then I reached out and I got some help with this exciting, awesome membership and learning how to deliver. I knew that I wanted to reach women in midlife. I knew that I wanted to save lives and maybe even relationships. You know, people that are going through divorce, their kids are leaving the nest, all the things. Well, I was reaching out and connecting with small numbers. So, through this membership work, a light bulb moment. What if I reach out to all the women who are nurturing, engaging, and doing all of their stuff? And whether it's in physical health, mental health, creativity, all the artists and the writers out there, whether it's in the professional and business entrepreneurs. Some of them have specialties working with relationships, others in the spiritual realm. And I kind of created this flower visual of all these special kind of aspects that make us whole. So I thought, okay, what do we want? We want to connect, we want to collaborate, and maybe even co create to go even beyond. You know what you're doing, you know what you're passionate about. You don't have to know all the things. I mean, let's be real. I totally had technical difficulties today, dripping sweat, website not working, things not crashing. And that's how we just deal with things. We reach out for help, we do our best, and we show up, right? And it's not putting on a brave face because those things are super frustrating. But it's knowing that when we come together, that's when the magic happens. So I had this visual and it's about when I was doing some mission work in India and we were in this small boat and this woman came up in her boat beside us and she offered us these flowers and these candles. So we bought them. And then a lot of people started buying them. And that's how I imagine we as female entrepreneurs, creatives, coaches, health professionals, we're each in our own boats and we're kind of going along and doing our thing. But what if we just reach out and give a little bit of beauty and a little bit of light into the water? And eventually, when we share our gifts, our beauty, and our light with other people, then at the end, I looked across the water and there was just this radiant glow. And it was this kind of goosebump shared experience. So that's kind of my vision of what this would be like. You know what you want to do, you know what you are doing, and you might even have some dreams of maybe I'd like to try this. Sometimes in midlife, we just kind of want to run away from either our lives, maybe our spouses, our kids, our lives, our work. So, what about if we were coming together to build a retreat, to build a summit online? What if we were creating these spaces that you could just be? You've been caring for others and you're still caring for your community. I am not trying to take away from what you are doing with your people at all, because you're going to be working out of this abundant overflow and feeling energized. So, we want to master midlife together, kind of like being your midwife in midlife. Maybe care for the caregiver, but then you still get to grow your business. I knew that my life is not over, even though it kind of felt like it. I knew that there was more in me. I had this inspiration for a whole new career ahead of me. And I think it's reaching out and supporting other midlife women so they can be energized and live their best lives. I'm kind of animated. I get kind of excited because you know what my heart is overflowing with? It's serving others. And it's seeing people light up and work in their strengths. Do I have insecurities? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I have weaknesses? You bet. But I see that you have a huge heart. And I see that you want to reach your people. Sometimes you might be feeling a little bit isolated, a little bit exhausted and worn out, but we can energize each other. Now, my idea for the membership is that it's not going to be this overwhelming thing. It's not going to be content coming at you, because we don't want that. We don't have the attention span. We don't have the desire. And a lot of us are super busy doing all the other things. So what if, though, it expanded your reach? So instead of reaching your 10 women or your 20 or 100, maybe even 300 women, what if together, even if 10 of us came together, imagine reaching 3,000 and 10,000 women together. There's enough women in the world, and they need us. They need us to unite, to collaborate, to come together, to be generous. Not afraid of sharing, not afraid somebody's going to steal my idea. If you've had the idea to build, the world's first global women's midlife network, just give me a call and we could collaborate on it. I'm not worried about that. So if we want to create like a resource library with what we're delivering, I want to hear your stories, because your story matters and your story is going to encourage other people. So that's kind of my nutshell. I hope, it looks like it was about 7.5 minutes, not terrible. So I know there are some questions out there. And Amy, did you have a question?
Yes, I had a question. So can you really explain who your audience, who are you looking to gather together to serve?
Oh,
Who are
great
your
question.
people?
Yeah, I think my people, because initially my people were any women who were in midlife going through stuff. And then I thought, wait a minute. I am reaching out to these female entrepreneurs, business owners, health professionals, coaches, artists, authors, writers, people that have a passion to help and serve women in midlife. And I see you. I see you all on Instagram and Facebook, and you're reaching out and you're doing your reels and you're dancing and you're showing your skydiving. I see you. I'm not on social media too much. That's not my passion. But if we work together and we kind of combine our resources and expand our reach to really make a difference.
So what do you think the main challenges are for women entrepreneurs? What are we facing? Like, I know what I'm facing, but what other challenges do you see that women entrepreneurs are facing, and how is coming together in Community Bloom a benefit?
Man, you got some good questions. Thank you. Well, I see the challenges. We as women, sometimes we don't have people to talk to about some of the conversations that people are just not having. And if you don't know the right doctor to go to, you think something's happening to your body and you just think, well, I'm aging, this is normal. Then if we come together and we have these shared experiences, we're driven and passionate about our businesses. So why not find other people that are thinking just like us? I think that's when I get energized, is realizing, wait a minute, I'm not alone in my business struggles, my tech issues, in, my relationship challenges. And I'm pretty open about, we were on the verge of divorce. And my husband knows this. This is not a surprise. And the whole reason that we share these things is so that we can bring people together and create something so much bigger. My other visual for that is the kernels of popcorn that you put in an air popper. And individually, we're just these little kernels doing our little stuff. And some of us are doing big things and some of us are doing little things. But you put us together in the heat and energy of the community, of the base of the air popper, and it goes from a little third of a cup, quarter cup of kernels to a big bowl of popcorn. I like
So
popcorn.
yeah, I love that visual of the popcorn, how we're all individual and when popped through energy, we can just make something even bigger than what we started as. So to go off of that visual, so you're starting now, this idea and this membership, and it looks like something right now in your head. And what do you vision it to be, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 2 years from now? How do you see the growth happening within this membership?
Well, I definitely have this big vision of this kind of hub and space of network where there are all these resources that are not overwhelming women, but they're organized into these categories, kind of like the petals of a flower that are coming together. And they can choose and look for the resources and the vetted professionals that they want to reach out for. And then eventually, when we decide as the founding members, this is kind of the cool spot because founding members have so much shape and influence of, hey, this is what I need, so let's build this together. And it's truly a collaborative network. I mean, I'm doing the grunt work so far, but then together I'm going to listen and see what are your needs and how can we get there. I know Amy and I have already talked about writing a retreat. In our meetings yesterday, every person that showed up said, wait a minute, I could join you on this. I could collaborate with you on this. We could co-create this. And they love the idea of not being in charge of it all. And I think that's the isolation and the overwhelm of being a woman entrepreneur sometimes. Or where are your people who are looking out for you? And they're right here. I'm your guide. I'm your cheerleader. Somebody did use the term, hey, it's like a mastermind. And I think sometimes that term is kind of overused, but it's where we're really bringing mature, strong people together who are not afraid to speak their truth, use their boundaries. And that's this great gift in midlife. I think sometimes people focus on, well, here are the really hard parts. But there is a beautiful thread that is coming through, that we are finding our voices. We are really realizing, perhaps for the first time, discovering our identity. And it's not defined on our roles as whether it's our career or as a spouse or as a parent. We are getting this great sense of who we are just as an individual person.
So, I'm curious as to what your foundational values are.
Yeah.
What are your foundational values? Like what I want to know, I already know I align with you, but I want to hear from you, like what words really resonate for you as your values.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of personal, deep work these last several years, and I worked with my own life and health coach, and I really want the spirit of generosity to be a foundational value, and not being worried about, oh, I don't want fear to rule how I am as a person or as a business owner. I want to give support and encourage other people. I want to see people get to where they want to go in a bigger, broader, and more exciting way. I really do believe in authenticity. So when I'm sad about what's happened to me, when you say to somebody, "Hey, I had suicidal thoughts last year, and it wasn't just a little one that passed by. It was deep and heavy, and I had to go get some deep help for that." And what I hear in one-on-one conversations, people say, hey, you know what? I had those thoughts too. I didn't know what was happening. So that's really like my heart, to be authentic and genuine and to not let my passion and enthusiasm overwhelm people. I really do want to make sure that we're keeping things kind of simple, to not overwhelm, again, to be authentic, to really develop that connection. I really care about integrity. Like, I am the worst poker player ever. I it's not that I can't lie, it's that it goes against the fiber of my being. So I'm a little bit too honest, and so I've had to work on my filter. Um, yeah,
I get that. I totally get that. So, you've opened this membership of Community Bloom,
yeah.
and I'm going to jump in right now. And what am I going to get right now? Like if we join right now, and when does the opportunity end? That's my first question. And
Oh,
what
that
am I
is
going to
important.
get?
Yeah.
And what happens if I don't join right now?
Okay. Well, right now what we're doing is it's called the founding member launch. And so what that is an opportunity for people to get in at the lowest price it's ever going to be. And originally I really felt solid about, hey, this is professional women coming together. I think 47 a month sounds awesome. However, what I'm learning is that it needs to be so accessible for people. We call it like the no brainer approach. So I thought today, like 33 just feels like a great number. And I think you were even telling me about this, that sometimes, you reverse the threes and then they kind of look like blooms. And I do have this blooming kind of theme going, certainly in Community Bloom. So, what do people get right now? Like, what would $33 get you? And it's you are first in the door, you get the biggest voice to shape something, but you don't have the responsibility for booking it. We're planning right now to do just 2 meetings a month. And we're going to keep it super simple. I'm not going to create all this content to throw at you because I don't think you care about that, honestly. You don't need to see me dancing or singing. You might like to look at my dog because she's really cute. Um, but one of the meetings would be a professional meeting where we are networking and brainstorming and peer mentoring and problem solving just to energize each other and work through the kinks. I see the second meeting of the month being more of our like personal development and growth and fun. And it might be learning that we can apply and use in our business, but it might be like with you, Amy, you're an amazing artist and you do this awesome creating connection through conversations program. And so I could see you being a guest in the community and everyone that I've met this week and a client spotlight. So each person gets to really use their gifts and skills. And if you are a founding member, you are going to get an interview. We're going to figure out, what do you need? Do you want to be on a podcast? Because I have one. Do you want to be on someone else's podcast? Do you need to learn how to present yourself? Somebody reached out and said, I want to empower women who are on video and get them so confident and comfortable because so many people do not like being on camera. I respect that. But this person said, I would come into your community and deliver a program on this. Somebody else said, maybe I would help you with my gifts and skill sets. So I'm trying to think. I just posted them all on the website right before Canva shut down and I couldn't get them to sync. So I know it's over on communitybloom.org and I'm trying to remember everything else they get. I think one of the awesome things about being a founding member is that your price doesn't go up. And this price will go up at the close of business, well, actually midnight Saturday, because
I have another question
yeah,
that I just thought of. Um, if I don't join before Saturday,
yeah.
can I join on Sunday or is it closed?
Ooh. Oh, to be honest, I don't think I'd really given that thought. Initially, I was thinking I wanted to close it so that I could then focus and nurture and figure things out for this next month or two. So, can I get back to you on that?
Yeah, get back to me because I'm curious. I mean, maybe, I think it's a good idea to close it after that first,
Yeah,
you know, on Saturday at midnight
yeah,
Pacific or Mountain or Eastern. I'm not, or Hawaii. Um, right? I don't know.
I'll have to
Um,
see what I wrote in there. I usually I did midnight Eastern time because I try to translate for our global community because most people know how to count forwards or backwards from Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time on the East Coast of the United States. And I'm in Colorado. You're, I think, West Coast, right?
yep, California.
And so that's probably one of our greatest barriers is what time works for people, what continent are you on. Yesterday's call, one of our groups, we had 4 different countries and time zones that showed up. So it was really great for that. So yeah, I've honestly not given that much thought. So that's a little
So
bit of a humility moment. So
no,
if,
no, it's actually, I think, a great opportunity to show that, you know, you're starting this out, you don't know everything, and you're
yeah,
doing things in all of its imperfection with
yeah,
the tech challenges and the questions that we need to figure out.
yeah.
And if we join on, we're there to help you figure out and have that voice and how it's shaped.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, that's just what we do in life is we try to get it moving forward. And I did get to follow up with several people that came to the talks yesterday, and I got so many emails of people saying, "Hey, I missed it. I couldn't make it. Are you going to do it again?" And so I thought, "Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can work it in my schedule." And then I did invite Amy. I'm like, "Amy, can you make it here?" And it's always nice, right? This is what we do when we collaborate or co create. We support each other and we encourage each other. I
So
know, I feel a little silly of like where all the things are. So I think, you know, helping people figure out how to share their story, how to, whether they want to become a speaker or if they want to learn how to lead a group or start a podcast. I get a lot of questions on health and wellness. I'm an occupational therapist by profession. And people say, "Hey, you went through surgery, reconstruction, physical therapy for your pelvic floor." And I'm like, I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't even know what the pelvic floor was, to be honest, and why I needed it. But now I'm like, oh, this is a service people need to know is out there. It can really transform so much about how your core works.
um, can you speak directly to like the journey that we would go on as members of Community Bloom? Like I mean, some of us are going to start here and some in the beginning, some
Yeah.
people will be in the middle. And what's your like, what's the transformation that the women are going to have?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good one. So I'm a little bit corny and a little bit nerdy. So I posted on my beautiful Canva layout that I did that has not yet made it over onto the big website. And it was kind of, again, that flower idea. And it was starting like a seed, like an idea. Because in some areas, we're going to come in and not be 100% sure. So we're going to be at the curious stage. And then we're going to bud and we're going to start creating a little bit. And then we're going to be growing, and we might even be oh, I love it when a scam likely comes on when you're in the middle of a live broadcast. Isn't that funny? And when you're starting to grow your stalk like a sunflower, that's one of my personal flowers. If more people were joining us, I'd say, hey, what's your favorite flower? Put it in the comments. I want to know. And yeah, we need to wrap this up to honor some time. Thank you so much, Amy. And then they get to bloom, and you are your own confident single bloom. You know what you're doing, and some people might be starting out at this, but then eventually they might realize, wait a minute, I don't want to just work in my one container, in my one flower. I want to be with a field of sunflowers, of people who know what they're doing, they know in their strengths. So I think kind of going from feeling a little bit isolated, overwhelmed, and exhausted to connected, energized, moving forward in greater confidence, and maybe even stretching out of the comfort zone a little bit. These conversations that happen when we're in community with people that we like and trust. And it's through those conversations that we say, hey, wait a minute, this person said I should look into this. And then, oh, hey, hold on. What if I do something really different?
So
So
that sounds like, I'm sorry, that sounds like the biggest mission that you have is to gather us in a field of flowers. Is that Would you say that's what your bigger mission is for the group,
Yeah.
or is it something different?
Well, it's gathering all these blooms and awesome women together who may not even fully realize all their superpowers, and then to be able to do
Wait,
this.
isn't that one of your gifts to
it
to recognize
it
and
is.
identify people's superpowers?
It is. And I was even going to offer that as a bonus of, hey, if you want to discover your superpower, I will offer a one-on-one with you. We will get it scheduled in the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on your travel schedule. Summers are busy, because I've just done some sessions in the last few weeks with people, and they said, I can't believe the transformation, how I feel differently. Because we also often can't see our own problems in perspective, right? It's like my coach Sherry says, you're inside the medicine bottle. You can't read the instructions on the outside because you're in a different perspective. So thank you for pointing that out. It's hard sometimes to accept our own compliments or strengths, right? But if you're already clear, you know who you serve and what you want to do, and maybe you just need a little bit of help coming forward, or you're ready to branch out and do a retreat or a summit, but you don't want to do this alone. I mean, how do you find motivated, dedicated women? I mean, that's why we have to charge money for this. Honestly, I'm not a salesperson, in case you didn't already know. I clearly don't have a sales and marketing plan. I have a lot of tech challenges, but there's help for that, right? So we never have to be discouraged. We never have to think that we're alone. And we are going to really build this. I really see this vision of this resource library of all this awesomeness, because I don't think people understand the power of coming together in that popcorn approach to really build something that's exponentially bigger than we can imagine. I think we're going to transform lives, relationships, and hopefully even save some. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ready to sign up. Where do I go?
Well, I do have, it's not the best looking one, but it was the good enough today. And over on the website, www.communitybloom.org, I do have the sales page up there. It's got some information. The other one just wouldn't blow up, but man, I rocked my colors last night. I just couldn't get them to work together. So
I'm proud of you for moving forward in its imperfection. It gives us permission to do the same.
we've
So thank you.
got to show our imperfection. Thank you. We have to encourage each other. You don't have to be perfect, because I'm not perfect. And I think so often we see people and we're like, oh, they've got it all together. They know how to do everything. I'll post a picture of my mess, of the behind the scenes, for people if they want, and they can see the reality of it sometimes. But my heart, my passion, it's all so real. So I appreciate you so much. Did anybody have some comments on Facebook? I saw a couple. I was trying to get to them. Let's see. Are you able to see them, or I'll pull it up?
I'm able to see them. I made a couple comments. I am not on the Facebook Live. Just so you know, it's just you.
Okay.
Do you know that?
I
And
did not.
I didn't either. So it is just you the whole time. So hopefully people can hear me.
Okay.
And also Sherry Byery
Sherry
said hello.
Beery.
Beery.
Yes.
And Rachel said something funny, which I'm not sure you know what it means, and I'm not going to do it right. I'm not going to tell you what it means right now.
Oh, I am familiar with that term, and maybe I'll take it as a compliment, and I hope it's not a stalker. So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just, we get to choose how we take and receive things, and
Yes, we
sometimes
do.
we've got to
You
just
could just
roll
say
with it.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Well, Amy, you are a gift. I'm so thrilled to know you. And I can see us writing some retreats, delivering some services to people that are really encouraging women in midlife to truly thrive. We're going to mentor each other. We're going to master this, and we're going to get through it together. That's what community is all about. Thanks so much.
Well,
Appreciate y'all.
I can't wait to bloom together.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.